In this video, I want to go over an application for Linux users called Shortwave. If you found the video on YouTube, I will provide a link below the video that has a description, how you can install it, and how you can uninstall it from your system. Well, let's take a look at what Shortwave is. Shortwave is an internet radio player that provides access to a station database with over 50,000 stations, and it was recently this month upgraded so that it contains a lot more stations than the earlier version. The earlier version contained over 30,000 stations. So I thought this is a great time to showcase this application so that if you like listening to music, and this is all genre of music, not just classic rock that I have here, that's what I chose to search for, is classical music, not classical music, but classic rock music, and I added me some stations to my favorites here. Now, in a few moments I'll show you how you can do that. Here's some of the features. I'm not going to read all of those. Now if you want to install it different than the way that I installed it here, which is by using the flat pack, and if you don't like using the terminal, I do have other ways that you can install it. The first link here you can click and it actually takes you to the GNOME circle. This is an application for GNOME, but you can install it for other type of systems as well. Here's a brief description, other ways of clicking links to get in touch, the interface, which I have pictures of the interface on the website, and other informations and other releases on this particular link. Now here's the way that I installed it, by the Flat Hub. I just basically click this link here, copy it and paste that and put it into the terminal. You can click that to run it, or it should be placed in your menu. In a few moments I'll show you that as well. Here's a little bit more information on the Flat Hub website. Now if you install the Snapcraft, if you're an Ubuntu user and like using Snapcraft, don't install it by the default, which is set up here. That is the stablest, but the one that they came out in February, it works great and has a lot more stations. So I recommend to click the drop down and install the latest version, which is 5.0, by using that instead of the 3.2. And it has actually information here. As you can see, it says over 25,000 stations. That's with the version 3.2. Version 5.0 has a lot more stations added to it. Now in the GitHub, you can click this and it gives you a lot more information than the others. This is about find and listen to internet radio stations, and it gives you a description, and it goes on to tell about the history. It says shortwave signals have a very long range because of their very good reflection properties. Due to their long range, they can receive almost anywhere in the world. The same applies to internet radio stations, which can also be received anywhere in the world. That's why they decided to call the project Shortwave, because internet radio stations and shortwave radio stations share many of the same characteristics. If you go on to read, they show you different ways that you can install it on your system, and you can actually go and look at the releases here to show the most current release. Here I show how to install it by using the flat pack. You just basically open up your terminal, copy and paste this line here, put it into your terminal, press the enter return key, put in your password, then you have the option to install it for the entire system, for every user, or just the current user by choosing number 2. I chose number 1. And then you'll be prompted to install these, so hit yes to install the extra packs that it needs. And then when it says installation complete, you can then close your terminal, or you can do as the Flat Hub website has, you can run it for the first time by putting that into your terminal. Another way that you can do it is you can open up your software center and search for Shortwave, click the install button, or drop down and choose a different method for installing it on your system. And once the install button, once it gets installed, you'll have the run button and a trash can, which allows you to delete it using a graphical user interface without opening up the terminal and removing it the terminal method. Now once you get it installed, it should show up in your menu. Mine's under sound and video, and there's the Shortwave. If for some reason it's not showing up in your menu after you install it, I recommend you to reboot your system and then look back into your menu. The first time you run it, there won't be any channels or stations added to your favorites, which is this area here. So what you do is you click the add new stations button, then it'll have a search bar at the top, and you can scroll down and look for some that popular stations that are currently popular at the time. Since it's not been long since Christmas, I guess a lot of people have been looking at Christmas, but over the time period, those Christmas ones will probably fall off the list, and there'll be other popular stations. But anyhow, as you can see, there's over 50,000 public stations with the version 5.0. So click up here and you can search for any genre, any type of music. You just put it in there and it will bring up a list of what you find. Like I put classic rocks up here, so all these channels here has something to do with classic rock. You basically can click onto it or click the play button and it will pop up on your screen, and then you can add that to your favorites if you want, or you can click to play and it will play on your system across on your speakers. And I'll show that in just a few moments. You may not hear the music since I have my headphones on, and I don't want you to, because of playing music across the internet could get a copyright strike. So I won't let the music play here, but I'll show you how to use the application. Here's some that I added to my favorites, so that each of these has something to do with classic rock, so I can change the station or change where the streaming comes from by clicking like here or click here. As you can see, this is the one that's currently active on the right side. Now once you have the application up, if you don't like looking at this big application program, you can click this enable gadget mode, and it will put like a little gadget on your desktop so that you can see the channel that you selected, and eventually it will change the songs at the bottom. As you can see here, the Eagles were playing Life in the Fast Lane. Here's one with AC/DC, Rock and Roll Train. Here's one with Genesis, Jesus He Knows Me, and then Ozzy Osbourne, Crazy Train. And there were several others I didn't screen capture. It was that day I sat and listened to the music across the internet. And as you can see, when you change the station, it will show this station change up here along with the artist and song below it. So it has the features that you can change. You can go click the dot dot dot, which will bring up the main menu, or your settings menu, which it will look like this. You can go in your preferences to change your preferences. Now one of the things by default, when you click the close button here, it will actually look like it closes, but it will still be playing in the background. I don't like that feature. I like to go in there and say use this as the close button, so when I close it, it stops the music. Because if I want to minimize, I can hit minimize it here and still have it playing in the background. So when you hit the preferences by clicking here, you will see the preference menu. I like to turn this feature off. It's on by default. Play background and play continues when the window is closed. When I close it, I don't want to continue playing it, so I turn that feature off. Now you can have it where as the song changes, it will create a pop-up notification showing you the new song in each time it changes. I leave that turned off as well. Now you can record songs. Now the quality of the songs that's coming across the internet varies by channel, and some of them's not the greatest quality. They're great for listening to it as an online radio station, but I don't really recommend, or you might, but I don't recommend saving the tracks that I listen to across the radio channels. I like higher quality songs, maybe ripped from DVDs or coming from other high quality sources. But if you choose to do that, you can eventually click like the download button on the side, and it will start recording the song that's currently in the playlist above up here. And then when it's finished, it will place it in whatever folder you choose here. You can say save all tracks, decide for each tracks, or just basically record nothing. I just say decide for each track, so that way if I ever decided I wanted a song, I can click the download button and it will record that song that's currently playing that you see at the top. Now, how do you remove this? You open up your terminal. If you installed it by the Flatpak, you can simply put that in your terminal, which is Flatpak uninstall, and that's what you installed. It will remove it. And if you've installed it using the software or software center, you open up the software center, search for Shortwave, click the little trash can icon, and it will uninstall it from your system using the graphical user interface. Now as you can see here, it's made for other type of interface. This is a simple interface that you can hit the play and stop buttons. You can adjust your volume, or you can get more information about it. Here you can see these were advertisements. You can even download and record the advertisements that you listen to across the radio stations as well. So let me minimize this and let's bring up the shortwave. I'm going to go to sound. As you can see here, it's shortwave. I click on it and it will eventually bring it up. It's a Flatpak, so it didn't take that long. Flatpaks are gotten a lot faster than they used to be. Here are some of the channels, as you can see, like on my website, to where I have it, where I can start clicking that and it will start playing a current track across that channel. Let's say that I want to add something different and I want to add another genre. You can click the plus, and these are the ones that are currently popular at the time. As you can see here, it's in a different place than it was at the time I screen captured it yesterday. But let's say I want to go here and search for something other than classic rock. Let's say I want to search for country music. So if I put country up here, it will come up and it will display country music channels. And you can see here it's a long list. You can scroll down, just keep scrolling down and keep scrolling down. Let's say that I wanted to say countries in today of the 90s. So let's say I click this, and it will bring it up. I can say add to library, or I can currently say play. As you can see, it tells you what language it's in, what tags, what country it's coming from, the bit rate of it, the codec, and actually where the stream is coming from. So let's say that I want to currently listen to it, and it's coming from iHeartRadio. It's countries in the 90s, so I hit play, and it's going to connect to it, and it's starting to play. Now you can probably hear it from my speakers. I won't play it long. Alright, I'm going to stop it there. So you can see it's not recorded. I didn't record that. But while that was playing, if I hit the record, it will start playing that, or recording that song that's currently played on the top. Let's say, and I didn't add it to my favorites. If I wanted to, I could go up here and I could say add to my library, and that would place that channel into my current favorites that you saw at the beginning. So if I wanted to search for something different, so if I had country here, if I wanted to hit today's hits, let's see what we have here. We have one of the 90s, 2000, and today's hits. So let's say I click on this one. I don't want to add it to library. And here shows you a map where the station is actually coming from. As you can see here, that's the location of the state of Pennsylvania. So let's play it. I won't play it long. As you can see, Oasis, Champagne Supernova. So I'm going to stop it here. I don't want to get a copyright strike if you can hear it across the internet. But as you can see here, if I wanted to add this channel to my previous channel, I'd say add to library. And here I'm going to do that, add to my library. I'm going to go back. So here is my library that I previously had. So if you look here, you should see the 90s, which is here. That's the one that I added to my list. So it didn't categorize all of my classics. It just placed it in an order. I don't know if it's a random order, if it's an alphabetical order, but it took the station that I added and it put it here. So if I eventually wanted to remove it, I could go back and hit my information, and I could say remove from library, and that will take that out of my favorites. So if you're someone that's looking for listening to radio stations or just listening to music in general, and it's not music, you can probably find podcasts as well. Anything that's a radio station across the internet, across any country, this is a great way for listening to online music. Hopefully this video has helped someone, and have a great day.